Hey supervisors, so this next video is going to be on adjusting the count for controlled medications. So only supervisors have this ability, and this will be specific to medications that require us to keep it double locked and to have a separate count sheet. Thanks. Hey supervisors, I just wanted to touch base with you quickly regarding our controlled medications within ICM. So these are those medications that we need to keep the separate count from in addition to the electronic MAR. So prior to using ICM, these are those medications you had a separate paper count sheet that you had to keep up with. So in ICM, when you administer that medication, you simply put it in on the same pop-up window that comes up, and it says, you know, the pill number that you gave, and then the quantity of the pills that you administered, and then the system keeps count for us. That should only be for certain controlled medications. So if you were not keeping a paper count sheet prior to us launching the EMAR within ICM, then your medication should probably not be labeled as a controlled medication. If any of you are still experiencing this, that a medication that should not require a count sheet is marked as a controlled medication within ICM, that means that when the medication was verified, it was not verified correctly, because in our instructions, it states that if something comes over as a controlled medication and it doesn't require a count sheet, that we mark off that it is not a controlled medication. That way, ICM does not require us to keep a count sheet. If you still have medications, I'm seeing in some houses lorazepam that's requiring a count. I'm also seeing some folks that have clonazepam that's requiring a count. Those kind of medications do not require a count sheet. So that means that they were verified incorrectly. I cannot go in and fix that for you because it's a controlled medication. So the system does lock it down. In order for us to correct that, what you're going to need to do is to get updated orders from the doctor. Preferably that would be on a script, or ask the doctor to send over an e-script to Northern Pharmacy, because if you're just sending over the PMOF, that seems to be causing some confusion for Northern Pharmacy. So we will need updated orders in order to correct that. And what's going to then happen is once Northern Pharmacy has the updated orders, you're going to see that medication sitting in the unverified section, and you're going to go ahead and verify that medication, but you're going to make sure that before you verify it, you're going to check off that box that's now marked that says this is a controlled medication, and you're going to check that off so that it just shows as a routine medication. Because again, if you verify it as a controlled medication, I cannot fix it. And ICM will require you to keep a count sheet. But that is how you need to correct that within ICM, is obtaining new orders so that Northern Pharmacy can go ahead and push that back through. But for those that actually do require a count, those double locked controlled medications, you will have to adjust the count, because typically, you know, you're going to get 30 or 31 pills, or if it's medication that requires you to administer, you know, 2 pills at a time, then you might get 60 or 62 pills in your count. So I'm going to show you how to adjust that so that you don't have to keep re-verifying that medication every time you get a new script for that medication, because we want to avoid that. You've already gone through the hassle of verifying all these medications. We don't want you to have to verify a medication again unless it is a brand new medication or a change. So I'm going to show you how to adjust the count. We're going to go in, I'm in my test guy, Donald Duck. I'm going to go to his e-chart, and I'm going to go to his medication. Give it a minute. And I do have a controlled medication here, and I've actually already zeroed this out. So if you have used up, you know, your 30 or 31 pills, or again, maybe it's 60 or 62 pills, you're going to see the medication amount is finished. And then your EMAR, it's probably not going to let you administer that medication any longer, because according to the count sheet, we don't have any more of that medication on hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the view. What you're not going to do is click edit. I know that that seems like something that we would want to do. We don't want to click edit. We actually want to come right up here to this zero quantity last med count block. And what you're going to do is you're going to adjust the count. So here it says last count is 0 because the system counted down how many pills we administered out, and it's saying you don't have any pills left for this controlled substance. Well, you just got an updated order from the doctor and the medication has been delivered. You now have, we're going to say you got 31 pills. So what you're going to do as a supervisor, because DSPs do not have the ability to adjust counts for controlled medications, that's an oversight that we only give to supervisors, because these, again, are controlled substances. We are responsible for keeping track of how many pills we have administered. So we're going to set the count to 31. This is the number of pills that I received from Northern Pharmacy. And in the comments, I'm going to state exactly what happened, because this is going to go into the logs within ICM. So I'm going to say 31 pills. We're going to say 31 pills were received for, I don't remember what, you would know the medication. I'm just going to say for this medication on 11/2/2020. Pill count was updated to reflect this. And you don't have to put exactly this, just something in there explaining, you know, why those logs are going to show that this quantity was adjusted. So then you're just going to go ahead and say save and okay. And now you can see that you now have 31 pills to administer for the next month. So again, these are only for those very few medications that we have at Bella McCree that require the medication be double locked and that account sheet be kept. So if your medication is currently marked as a controlled medication and it does not require you to be double locked, and you weren't keeping a separate count sheet before we went live with the EMR within ICM, then that means again that your medication is incorrectly labeled as controlled. Okay, so you want to go through the steps that I provided previously, get that new order, send that over to Northern Pharmacy, and then make sure that you are verifying that medication correctly and that it is not marked as a controlled medication before you go ahead and verify it. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would be happy to help you. Thanks.